AI is everywhere. In your newsfeed, in your portfolio, in every earnings call you've read this year. But here's the question most investors can't answer. What is AI actually made of? Today we start a three-part series, AI Unboxed. We're going behind the hype to the hardware. Because if you want to invest in this revolution, you need to understand what's under the hood.
Let's start with a word you hear constantly but nobody explains. Semiconductor. Why is it called that? Silicon, the material these chips are made from, sits between a conductor like copper and an insulator like glass. That middle ground, that semiconducting property, is what lets engineers switch electrical signals on and off billions of times a second. That switching is computing. Everything else follows from that.
So chips are built from silicon, but not all chips do the same job. Walk us through that.
Think of a traditional data center like a home kitchen. One chef, one pan, one recipe at a time. That's a CPU, a central processing unit. It handles tasks sequentially, fast, precise, one thing at a time. Now imagine training an AI model. You need to process millions of calculations simultaneously, like chopping 10,000 vegetables in the same second. For that, you need a GPU, a graphics processing unit, originally built for video games. Turns out, perfect for AI.
Which is why NVIDIA became one of the most valuable companies on Earth.
But here's what most people miss. NVIDIA's real moat isn't the chip, it's something called CUDA, a software layer that developers use to program their hardware. Engineers have been writing in CUDA for 15 years. Entire company code base is built on it. Switching away from NVIDIA means retraining your entire engineering team. That's the stickiness money can't easily buy.
So the software ecosystem is the real lock-in.
Exactly. AMD is the main hardware challenger. Their Instinct series offers more memory, lower cost, and they're closing the software gap. But CUDA still leads.
Now here's something that surprises most retail investors. NVIDIA doesn't actually manufacture its own chips.
Correct. They design them. The actual printing happens in Taiwan at TSMC. Essentially, the entire world's advanced chip supply runs through one island. When people talk about geopolitical risk, this is what's at stake. But the supply chain bottleneck goes even deeper than Taiwan.
How so? Who makes the machines that build the chips?
A Dutch company called ASML. They have an absolute monopoly on extreme ultraviolet lithography, the massive machines required to print the microscopic transistors on cutting-edge AI chips. So while the US designs the brains, Europe and Asia own the machinery and the physics. No ASML, no TSMC, no TSMC, no NVIDIA.
And Samsung in Korea plays a similar role to TSMC?
Samsung both manufactures chips and makes memory. They're a bridge into what we'll cover in part 2.
So we have NVIDIA dominating, AMD challenging, TSMC manufacturing. But the biggest AI spenders in the world, the hyperscalers, are building their own chips. Why?
And by hyperscalers, we mean the giants. Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta. Companies running computing infrastructure for billions of people simultaneously. Their scale is so extreme that normal solutions simply don't work for them.
So what do they do instead?
At their scale, dependency is expensive. Google's TPU, Amazon's Trainium, these are custom chips built for one job. More efficient, and every dollar spent on them is a dollar not going to NVIDIA. They're called ASICs, application-specific integrated circuits.
And who helps them build these custom chips? Because not every company has that expertise.
Broadcom, the name most retail investors have never heard, and probably should have. They're the engineering partner behind the scenes helping hyperscalers design their custom silicon, and they also make the networking switches that connect thousands of chips inside a data center. The chips are the chefs. Broadcom is the kitchen's plumbing. You can't cook without either.
So Broadcom profits whoever wins the chip war.
That's exactly the right way to think about it.
So that's part 1. The accelerators. NVIDIA's software moat, AMD's challenge, TSMC's invisible dominance, ASML's stranglehold on the machines, and Broadcom's quiet grip on the whole system. Next time, the memory makers. The companies supplying the short-term memory AI needs to actually think. That's part 2.
And after that, we get to the stocks.
See you there.